Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. It's Carolyn. Today I have a pickle pile reading for you. And for today's reading, we're tapping into your inner voice and we're seeing what message your higher self wants you to know. What's some advice and wisdom that you really need to hear right now? And I have 4 different piles in front of you for you to choose for this reading. Really allow yourself to listen to your inner voice, to your intuition at this time. Pause the video if you need to meditate. If you're drawn to angel numbers, the timestamps for the piles is going to be in the description box down below, and you can see if any of those timestamps are corresponding with an angel number that has been appearing a lot for you. Really allow yourself to pick the item that you're called to, that either sparks happiness or joy or something that you keep going back to. Sometimes with your intuition, there's not a logical reason for it, there's just this emotional push towards it. And so for the different piles that you have today, we have a butterfly dish, we have a bookmark, a honey spoon, and a ring holder in the shape of a shoe. And so, like I said, pause the video if you need to meditate. Really allow yourself to pick the pile that you were drawn to, or if you're drawn to multiple piles, you can always watch more than one. It's really about doing what your intuition is telling you to do. And that's really my goal with this channel, is to give you the tools you need to build up your intuition so that you can make the decisions that's best for you. If you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Please subscribe. I would love to have you a part of this family, and make sure you turn on that bell notification because I post new videos every single day to help you develop your intuition. And so with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the readings. So those of you who chose the butterfly dish, for your cards, you have the Two of Swords, Temperance, so almost like there's a decision going on in your life, Ten of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, the Creator, Boundaries, and Gratitude. So yeah, with the Two of Swords and Temperance, it definitely feels like there's a decision that you are making or that you're figuring out, or you're like at this crossroads, but it's not a crossroads where you don't know what to do. It's almost like you are afraid of what comes next. You're afraid to make that move. And that's where, like with the Wheel of Fortune, that is about cycles, and the Creator is creating that shift, creating that change. Some of you, looking at the imagery of the Temperance card, the Creator card, and Gratitude, you could be coming to terms with your sexuality. And with the Ten of Pentacles, you're afraid that there's people in your life who are not going to accept you. With the Two of Swords and Temperance energy, this is about balance. This is about having like conversations with people. And with the Boundary card as well, when it comes to whatever change that you are having to embark on, you're gonna have to set boundaries for yourself. You're gonna have to put yourself first. I feel like your higher self wants you to know, like, hey, trust in what you were doing, trust in this change, trust in what you were creating, because a lot of you, this decision of your life, this change in your life, this crossroads that you're at, once you decide which path to go down, it's going to lead to a lot of avenues for you to create stability for yourself, for your future family, for your legacy, in a sense. With the Ten of Pentacles there, sure, it's referencing like your current family, but it's also representing your potential. So if you are going through disagreements with your family, or you feel like they're not going to support you or love you or be there for you, the Ten of Pentacles is representing that that's not inherently true. Some of you might be shocked to see how your family pivots, how your family adapts. Others of you, your family's going to come around. It might take time, you might have to set boundaries, but eventually they're going to come back. And if that's not the case, it means that you're going to build a legacy. You're going to find another family, in a sense, to like love you and take care of you. Whether this is like the family that you're building for yourself, or whether this is found family. There's this energy here with the Ten of Pentacles that no matter the actual outcome, you're going to feel loved. You're going to feel supported. You're going to feel like you have a family. And so it might look different than what you want it to be, but it's not going to be something that you regret. There's a lot of gratitude that your higher self wants you to know comes by this change, and comes by you setting these boundaries and being yourself, and not allowing other people to dictate what you do. And I feel like the reason for this is in the Boundaries card, she has purple hair, she has a purple flower crown on her. Purple represents the crown chakra. The crown chakra is wisdom. And actually in the Gratitude card, she's embracing her heart chakra energy. And so I feel like this is your higher self's way of acknowledging that no matter what happens, you're going to feel loved, you're going to feel supported, and your higher self does not have regrets for the decision that you make right now, because you're creating a life that brings a lot of fulfillment to you. And with the Ten of Pentacles as well, not only does it represent what's currently going on, it also represents the legacy you're building for yourself. Some of you, this change brings in financial gain. It brings in stability. It could bring in a partnership with someone who helps you build the stability of a life you've always dreamed of. But it also represents like building a legacy that you're proud of, that you're happy of, where you find success within it and you're able to share that with those you care and love. And with the boundaries card, this means that you're going to have to set boundaries. You're going to have to be stubborn on what you want, and you're going to have to defend yourself. Like, not everyone's going to agree, but that's okay, because you are protected, because you're creating something for yourself. It's not about proving it to others. It's about just doing it for yourself, and others will come around or they won't. Like, don't go chasing anyone to agree with you. With this temperance energy, this is all about inner peace, inner balance, alignment. If something's not in alignment with you, don't chase after it to fix it. The Wheel of Fortune is all about cycles. And so sometimes with that, it's like that saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it's yours to keep. Don't chase after people who don't want to be chased after right now. Just let them go, and they'll find their way back to you when the time is right. Something else I want to point out with the boundaries card is you have these lanterns with the hearts on the side. And the gratitude card, she's embracing her heart chakra energy. And what I think is very important that you understand when it comes to setting boundaries is you set boundaries for your protection. You don't build walls and shut people out. You don't block off your heart and your love and your compassion and your empathy from others consistently. Like, the boundaries is like a line in the sand for yourself to know, hey, that's not appropriate. I'm not going to continue to keep you around me if you're going to behave like that. It doesn't mean that you're walking around with a shield on your heart and never letting anyone in. There's a difference between being closed off and having boundaries. And your higher self does not want you to confuse the two, because you have a lot of love to give, and I think it's very easy for you to become sensitive and shut down and not let anyone in. And all that's going to do is make it harder for this 10 of Pentacles and this legacy for you to be built. Because if you're not letting other people in, you're not going to feel loved, you're not going to feel supported, and it's going to keep you in a negative cycle, feeling like that's never attainable for you. You create your own reality, and that stems by what you are doing and what your actions are. And so if you're wishing to have close relationships with people, but yet you constantly shield yourself from that, you're never going to create that. The Creator card is telling you your future is what you make it, and therefore your actions need to follow through with it. If you take actions to let people in, to have gratitude, to show your love and appreciation for others, that's going to build a close bond between you two. That's going to allow things to grow and to develop. The Two of Swords is not just a momentary thing. It is a conscious choice to choose what to do, to choose what paths to walk down, to choose what you accept. Just like with boundaries, you choose what your line is, what your boundary is. Everything is constant action and deliberation in order to create what you want. So this is a message from your higher self that in order for you to change and transform like the butterfly would do, you need to allow yourself the process and the room to do that. I also feel like when it comes to the gratitude card, you have to have gratitude for yourself and you have to have grace for yourself. This is a process. It's not going to happen overnight. I feel like some of you, when you make changes in life or when you finally accept things, you expect instant gratification. You expect instant results. And sometimes things are a slow process. Sometimes things take time to create. Sometimes they have to grow and you have to tend to them, and they're not just going to happen overnight. And when it comes to this decision, this choice, it feels like this is a slow process. There's a reason you have to set boundaries. It's because not everyone's gonna agree with you because they don't see the benefit, they don't see the potential. You have to work with other people, and people can be stubborn. People are set in their ways. People don't want to change. And when you're dealing with other people's energy, you have to be mindful that this is gonna take time. Even the Wheel of Fortune is not inherently a fast moving energy. The Wheel of Fortune, some cycles are short, but some can be long. They can take centuries. Same with the 10 of Pentacles. Legacy is built over a long time. It's not built in the short term. The energy I'm feeling from you, it's like it's slow moving, but eventually you're gaining stability that builds up what you want, that allows you to have a good foundation. This feels less like your higher self is telling you to make this shift in order to magically get something right now. This doesn't feel like this is for instant manifestations or something to come into your life right now. This means, hey, you're gonna make this change. You're gonna decide this thing. You're gonna say yes, you're gonna say no, whatever it is. And by doing that, that creates a ripple effect for more to come in, for you to receive, for you to be more in alignment with your life, with your purpose. And slowly over time, you're going to build up to the life that you've always wanted, where you don't have any regrets, where you have this 10 of Pentacles. Now, that's not to say this choice isn't going to lead to like an instant improvement or bringing something into your life, but it means that it's going to compound over time. And so, for example, if you're having to decide on like if you go out with someone, you could go on a date with them, find out that they are your person, but it's still going to take a long time before you build that legacy with them. If this is something to do with your career, you could be deciding about a job opportunity or a pivot in your career. That doesn't mean all of a sudden you're going to make $1 million. That just means, hey, you're going to be in alignment with what you're meant to do. Eventually, as you create more skills, as you build out what you know and your knowledge, you're going to eventually get raises and promotions and be able to grow within your field. And that's going to bring the income that you want, the stability you want. It's like small shifts now make you aligned with this Temperance energy to get this 10 of Pentacles. And you'll see the thread of destiny kind of woven through, everything connecting it to you. But that's something that your higher self sees because they are there at the end with the big picture. You're here at the beginning step of it. And that's where you have to have gratitude to trust the process. And so what your higher self really just wants you to know is accept yourself, love yourself. And when it comes to these decisions in your life where you already feel like you know what to do, you're just afraid to make that move, push yourself to break out of this cocoon and go for it. Because it's going to allow you to build this legacy, build this destiny, build this future for you by creating it for yourself. If you allow the fear to control you, you're not building anything, you're not creating anything. And so sometimes you gotta get out of your own way and just go for it and take that risk and deal with the repercussions and just trust that it's all gonna work out and you're gonna be happy in the end. That's the one thing your higher self wants you to know, is ultimately, no matter what drama you go through as a result of this change, you're going to be happy in the end. And so it's temporary uncomfortableness, but it's going to lead to long-term satisfaction. And so I hope this resonates for you. Let me know if it did in the YouTube comments. Also, if you need any advice when it comes to making these changes in your life, feel free to ask questions in the comments and I would love to help you out as best as I can. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I would love to have you a part of this family. If you want to purchase your own reading, I do sell them. You can check on my Etsy shop or you can message me on my other social media platforms to book a custom reading. All my links is going to be in the description box down below, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one until then. Bye. So those of you who chose the bookmark, for your cards you have the 3 of Wands, the Devil, Ace of Wands, 4 of Wands, and the Chariot. You also have Simplicity, Mantra, and the Threshold. So I mean this in the nicest way possible, but the message from your higher self is that you are stuck in a very stupid and silly situation. It feels like you either trusted someone, believed in someone, or listened to the advice of someone on a very superficial level, or you're chasing after someone because of superficial reasons, and there's not a whole lot of substance, there's not a whole lot of compatibility or likeness between you two. And this doesn't even have to be like a romantic relationship that you found yourself in. For some of you it feels like that could be the case, but this could also just be like a situation where like you took a job and now you hate your coworkers. It just means you're in a situation that you jumped into because the offer that was presented to you was good, and now that you got it, you're like, oh, this actually sucks, but I feel trapped. Because the 3 of Wands is all about like taking action, seizing the moment, seizing the opportunity, saying yes to something, walking away from something, but taking action on it. And to have that followed up with the Devil card means like you took action, now you feel trapped. Like the Three of Wands is all about like going out on adventures and not being limited, not having anything holding you back, not having any blocks to make it where you can't do whatever you want to do. But it's like all of a sudden you went into this new territory, this new opportunity, and all your freedom got sucked away. Now your hands are tied. Now you don't know what to do. Now you are stuck. With the Ace of Wands, this is where you fell for it because it looked good, because you were attracted to it, because there was like an initial chemistry or passion that made you inspired, that made you focus on the potential, focus on what you could have. I think some of you went into this opportunity thinking that it would change your life, that it would transform you, and that everything else that hasn't gone good, everything else that hasn't worked out how you wanted it to, all of a sudden this will work for you and it will change who you are. That's not how anything works. You change who you are. Things that you get, opportunities, people, they don't change you. They can motivate you, they can help you, but if you're not going to change, then you're not going to change. It's all internal. And so there were preconceived notions of what this would bring to you, and not only did that not happen, but it's worse. Like there's conflict, there's misunderstandings, miscommunications, there is animosity with the Five of Wands. This is not, hey, I don't really vibe with this anymore. This is, I'm actively fighting a battle in a war zone of my own mind because I don't have peace, because me and this person or the people that I'm surrounded by, we don't get along. And you have the Chariot card because your higher self is saying, hey, accept the fact that you made a mistake. Accept the fact that this situation sucks. Accept the fact that this was stupid and you're stuck in a situation that you really don't need to be in. You chose to be in it, but you can also choose to leave. Like the more you stay in it, the more that you deal with this conflict, the more that you suffer. It's like, what are you really winning? What's the point of suffering? Because this is not a situation that you can't get out of. It's a situation that might not be ideal to get out of, but you're feeling more trapped than you actually are with the Devil card. Because the Devil in traditional tarot, if you look at the imagery of the cards, yes, the people are trapped, but the chains are loose around their neck. They could slide them off if they wanted to. So you're not trapped in a situation where there's no way out. And you literally have the Chariot, which is a getaway card, which is saying, hey, you can leave, you can walk away, you can move on. You don't need to be stuck here anymore. And so if you've been hoping like you can wait it out, or that it's going to get better, that it's going to improve, or you're waiting on it to change, this is your higher self saying it's not going to change. Like this is constant drama for you. And you have simplicity and mantra. You deserve simplicity, you deserve peace, you deserve happiness. And this situation's taken from you. It's making it where you can't get that with the mantra. This is all about focusing on what you deserve, focusing on what you can get and manifesting that into reality. And right now with the Threshold card, like you're at your breaking point with the Threshold. You're at that threshold and it's time for you to walk out, walk away. Some of you, like if this is about your house or apartment or where you live, move out. Like get a car, put your stuff in it and just go. Even if it's a financial hit, it's worth it. Like I feel like that's really what's keeping you stuck with the Devil here. It's all about the short-term side effects of it, where I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Your higher self is not saying it's going to be easy or that there's not going to be any repercussions. Like it's going to be stressful. Like moving out of this situation, getting away from it could bring financial hits. It could make you lose friendships. It could make you like lose things that you once thought you were gonna have. Some of you, like you're not gonna be able to put this job on your resume, but ultimately it's worth it because this is not providing anything good for you. And so it's like, yeah, like it sucks after you spent so much time and effort trying to make something work for you to have to accept defeat and say, you know what, I can't do it anymore. But it's like, why are you going to continue to waste more years of your life, more time that you're never going to get back anyway? Like this threshold is saying, time's up, time to walk away, walk out that threshold into a safer energy, into better things. Like your takeaway from your higher self is like, hey, don't sugarcoat it. Like don't lie to yourself and tell yourself it's going to be okay. It's not. You can make it okay by walking away, but don't pretend like the situation is going to magically resolve itself. Don't think that you can just pray or say mantras or manifest this conflict away. Sometimes I feel like people overlook the power of themselves and what you were actually meant to do. And sure, you can pray and you can believe in a higher power, a higher source, but sometimes that higher source is looking down on you saying, you know what to do. You have to take action. You're the one who's going to remove yourself from it. Sometimes you have to simplify your life, create this simplicity for yourself. And it's not that your questions are going unanswered or your mantras are not working. It's that you have the power to change it. You have the power to fix it. You don't need someone to come in and save you. And I also feel like part of that was like why you got stuck in this situation. Because when you agreed to this, you thought that this opportunity was gonna fix things for you. It was gonna save you. Now you're kind of realizing you got to do the work yourself. You have to fix yourself. You got to heal whatever wound you have not healed for yourself. And that's what your higher self wants you to know. Like, hey, you can heal, you can grow, you can learn, you can remove yourself from this situation. But that all stems internally. That is all on you. This Three of Wands, being able to be free and say yes to things and not have limitations, not have fears, not have blocks, is something you have to work on for yourself. Because you went from this person who didn't fear things, who thought anything was possible, to now facing some blocks, some situations that were not ideal, and you don't know how to cope, you don't know how to work with it, because you never had these challenges. And another thing your higher self wants you to evaluate is, what is it where at the first sign of conflict or blocks or obstacles that it makes you shut down and not feel like you have power anymore? Because it almost feels like the only time you feel like you have power and control is when things are working with you. Instead of realizing like you have the ability to solve things, you have the ability to remove these obstacles, but it's almost like you feel powerless, like you can't. And that's something you have to learn for yourself. Part of this situation could be that the lesson for you is to learn that you have power even when you feel like you don't, because you always have the power to get out of it. You always have the power to get away, even if it's difficult, even if it's not easy. And I feel like that's something that you don't realize for yourself. It's not something that you believe. And that's where your higher self is saying, hey, learn from this. Learn how to find peace and happiness. But not because things are always peaceful, but because you know what your peace looks like for yourself. You know what makes you happy. And if something's blocking that from happening, you're going to address it and you're going to solve it. Whether that means actually being able to solve it or knowing when it's time to go. Yes, the situation is not ideal, but it's a learning lesson from you. Don't allow yourself to be bogged down with regret, because you have the Chariot for a reason. You're going to be okay. You're going to find this peace. And so just allow yourself to accept that there's no more saving this. It's not salvageable. And create an exit plan. Walk away. Even if you gotta take a little bit of a hit, you'll recover from that. You're gonna have to walk away eventually. And it's like, don't waste more time than needed waiting for it to get better before you realize that it really won't. Because I feel like right now you're realizing that, but you don't want to accept it. And this is your sign to accept it. Listen to your intuition, listen to that inner voice and say, you know what? It's not for me anymore. Maybe it's for someone else, but it's not in alignment with my peace, with what I want out of life, with my happiness. And therefore, I'm going to go in this Chariot here and figure out what my happiness actually looks like. So I hope this resonates for you. I hope I was able to help you out. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you a part of this family. Like I said, I post more videos to help you develop your intuition. If you want to book your own private reading, I do sell them. You can check out my Etsy shop, or you can message me on my other social media platforms to book a custom reading. All the links to contact me is going to be in the description box down below, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Until then, bye. So those of you who chose the honey spoon for your cards, you have the Hermit, Two of Cups, Ace of Swords, the Chariot, and Seven of Cups, the Flame, and Forgiveness. So the Hermit represents isolation, but also introspection. And I feel like what your higher self wants you to know is like, don't be a hermit. Like, go out, socialize with the Two of Cups, like hang out with those that you love. Like, if you're single, go out and try and date again. I feel like there's some fears that hold you back from opening yourself up to others. And what your higher self wants you to know is that most of your breakthroughs come through conversation. Some of you could have like Gemini placements where communication is key for you, where you need to talk things out loud, talk to them with another person in order to come up with some new idea or breakthrough. When you isolate, sure, you can be introspective, sure, you can figure things out, but it's a much slower process. And sometimes I feel like your best advice for yourself comes through what you say to other people. Now, with the Two of Cups and the Flame card, this could also be indicating twin flame relationships are going to be very important for you. Now, this is always my caveat with twin flames, is there's a difference between like a twin flame relationship that's healthy, that you have your struggles that you have to learn for one another, versus an abusive relationship. If it's an abusive relationship, it's not a twin flame. A twin flame is someone who mirrors you. So there's a lot of lessons, but it's not just someone who's mean to you. And also, not all twin flames or relationships are healthy. So if you're not in a healthy twin flame relationship, like, you don't need to be attached to that person at this time. With twin flame relationships, there's typically a period of isolation from one another. And so if someone is not being a good person, there's no reason why you can't break up with your twin flame, and if it's meant to be, they'll heal and they'll come back to you when the time is right. So just keep that in mind when I talk about twin flames. It feels like for some of you watching though, like you have a twin flame who is healthy for you, who might be coming back into your life with this forgiveness card here, where you two are going to be able to talk things out and work them out. But part of your reconciliation is because you two run into each other with the Hermit card here, where you're living your own life and you run into each other in public, or they reach out to you. It feels like this is you being told with the Chariot and Seven of Cups after this Ace of Swords is that you're going to be facing an opportunity where you get to make a choice. And part of that choice requires you listening to others, but also speaking to others about it, not making this decision alone. Yes, you make it for yourself, but there's no harm in talking about it with others, getting other people's perspective, because in talking about it with them is how you figure it out for yourself. For a lot of you, it feels like this could be in regards to a relationship, but it feels like there's healing that's coming on. A lot of you, this feels like you could be talking about a relationship, which is why I brought up twin flames. But if it's not about a relationship, you're healing from a previous relationship. What I mean by this is you have the forgiveness card, and in this forgiveness card you have a girl setting a bird free, almost like if you love it, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours to keep. And so with this, I feel like there's something that you've been holding on to that it's time for you to surrender. It's time for you to let it go. It's time for you to walk away from and talk about this with others. And then follow that advice for yourself. Go and find your happiness. Go and find this fulfillment where you're not sitting and waiting for these results to come in. Because to me, with this Hermit card being your energy, and what I'm actually noticing is the Hermit card, she's holding a lantern, and in forgiveness, she's letting a bird go out of a cage. Both of them are represented by like the color orange. Your light is being trapped. Your light is being stifled. There's stuff that you want to do that you are not feeling like you're capable of, and whether it's fear or doubt, what I'm realizing now, it's this flame. Okay, so not only could this be representing a twin flame relationship, you are this flame. You are this fire. You are this spark that needs to be ignited, and instead of doing anything with it, you've been sitting and you've been trapped and you've been waiting and you've been isolated, you've been contemplating. Stop thinking, start acting. Even if it's scary. Like, just put yourself out there, take that risk, make the moves you want with that Chariot. And part of making those moves means speaking them into existence, or going for it, asking for it, with that Two of Cups energy of talking for it. Like, sometimes you don't have to wait for other people to come to you. You can go to them. You can do it for yourself with the Chariot. But you can also walk away when the time is right for you. What your higher self wants you to know, it's like, don't limit yourself. There's a lot of blocks and you're in the process of healing them. And so your higher self wants you to know, like, hey, this healing journey has begun, but you have to keep up this momentum. You can't just pretend like you're healed without ever committing to being healed or to heal yourself. It's a conscious effort. There's a lot of work and mindfulness and awareness that you need to have with the Ace of Swords here. You not only have to be aware of your wounds, but you have to actively go out of your way to put yourself in situations where you get to heal them. And that's not always easy. That can make it where things are uncomfortable for you. What I'm hearing is you chose the honey spoon because people often refer to honey as medicine. It's time for you to take your medicine. It's time for you to heal. It's time for you to get better. It's time for you to soothe your own soul. Some of you, with this twin flame, it's not you two getting back together. It is closure. It is you healing from this relationship, this dynamic, this unhealthy, toxic relationship. You're going to find answers. It's really important for you with this Two of Cups to communicate. Some of you pay attention to where you have Gemini in your astrological chart, or if you have any heavy placements and planets in the sign of Gemini, because that's going to help you pinpoint what area of life you need to focus on healing the most. Another thing to look at, if you use the whole sign house system, look at where the planet Mercury is in your chart and look at what zodiac sign rules that, and then look at the Lord of ruler of that zodiac sign and see where that is connected with the planets that you have in Gemini, because it feels like communication is really important for you right now. Communication leads to breakthroughs, and it leads to healing, and it leads to growth. Your higher self doesn't want you to fear growth. Your higher self doesn't want you to fear putting yourself in uncomfortable positions, because it feels like sometimes you opt out of uncomfortable stuff and you rather just sit with yourself and feel like you're gonna make better breakthroughs that way. But really what you're doing is you're running from things that you know is gonna be painful because you don't want to deal with it, because you don't want to do that work. And so your higher self is kind of calling you out right now, saying, hey, I know we don't want to do this, but we need to. It's going to be better. It's better to face it. It's better to have answers. It's better to come to a conclusion and be able to move on than to always live in limbo. That's what it kind of feels like right now is your default, and you need to default out of that. You need to heal that. You need to regulate that. And so some of you focus on meditation, focus on being more mindful, being aware, do shadow work, start to heal your inner wounds. Don't run from them. Another thing with the Chariot and the Hermit card, this could also be representing Virgo and Cancer energies as well. Virgo is our daily routine. It is the structure of our setup. And Cancer is the home. It's our safety net, it's our comfort, it's our protection. And the thing about the Cancer sign is that it's represented by a crab. A crab has its shell, it has its home, and it's not afraid to protect that. And I feel like sometimes you opt to protect your comfort instead of tapping into this Virgo energy of the maiden and going out and exploring. Instead of straying off the path and carving your own way, you isolate yourself to the point where you are prioritizing your comfort over your happiness, where it's like you might not be happy, but because you're comfortable and you know how to be uncomfortable and what that looks like for you, you don't break out of that. And that's why, like with the Seven of Cups, there's a lot of fears, but in order to overcome your fears, you have to face them. And that's what your higher self wants you to do right now, is take charge, take control, and drive forward, and not let fears hold you back, not let the unknown scare you. Talk things out, work things out, get answers, have breakthroughs, and then act on them. Don't ignore these breakthroughs because it's not what you want. Sometimes you have to do what you don't want in order to get what's actually better for you, so that your manifestations can come true, so that this flame can grow and become a fire and you can figure out what you're truly passionate about. Right now you're dimming yourself, you're snuffing out your own flame. And you need to change that. Otherwise you will lose yourself. And so, like I said, it's almost like you're taking your medicine, you're healing yourself, you're doing the uncomfortable work now so you get rewarded later on. And so I'm sending you so much love as you're going through this. I hope this video resonated for you. If it did, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you a part of this family. As I said, I post new videos every single day to help you develop your intuition. If you want to book your own reading, I do sell them. You can check out my Etsy shop, or you can message me on my other social media platforms. All the links to contact me is going to be in the description box down below. I can't wait to see you all in my next video, and I hope you all have a good one until then. Bye. So those of you who chose the ring holder that looks like a shoe, for your cards you have Five of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, Eight of Wands reversed, Queen of Cups, Magic, and Dead End. So right away, the Five of Pentacles is reminding me of like you got some tricks up your sleeve. And it's reminding me of the Taylor Swift song, Cowboy Like Me. It feels like there's things going on where you're getting your second chance, your second wind more so. Where there's a power within you with this Dead End card where your higher self is telling you don't listen to others. Don't listen to the defeat that others expect you to have. Pick yourself back up, because it feels almost like you were abandoned or misled by people. And you follow different paths down that you feel like are never panning out for you. They're never working out for you. But with the magic here, you have magic within you. With this Dead End here, it almost feels like you're backed into a corner. And what your higher self is telling you to do is make a home in this dead end. Don't push back, don't run, don't try and escape it, because there's not an escape. But if you accept it, you can cultivate the land, you can grow with it, you can work with it. When you face a challenge, don't resist it. With the Ace of Swords, have a breakthrough by working with it. What I'm being told with the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups is that you are the Queen of Cups. You are able to tap into your emotions and your empathy and your love and your nourishment and feel good and like spin a positive outlook onto everything. With the Page of Pentacles, your skill set might not be making things practical or making them pan out for you. Some of you, it feels like you struggle with financial blocks. But the thing is, with the Queen of Cups tapped in with this magic energy, you can be very magical. It feels like you can manifest a lot. It's just your approach to manifesting things has to be emotional. There has to be an energy where you're tied into it. You have to be passionate about it. You have to love what you're doing. If you're trying to manifest things from a negative place, it's not going to work out for you. And with the Eight of Wands being reversed, it indicates that your process is a little bit slow. But slow doesn't mean ineffective. It doesn't mean that you won't get what you want. But what your higher self wants you to know, it's like these tricks are in your sleeve. You have to find it. You have to wait for the right time to pull out these resources. Because right now, you have people who expect the worst from you. You have people who expect you to give up. You have people who expect you to not recover, not bounce back. With the Page of Pentacles as well. You're scrappier than people give you credit for. And you're more aware than other people are. Listen to your gut instincts, because what your higher self wants you to know is that you're highly intuitive. You're in tune with your emotions, and you're also in tune with the world and with other people's emotions. And there are certain things that you're aware of that they're not aware of. And while you might be struggling right now, there's other people around you who are trying to kick you while you're down. But little do they know that they're making agreements or making plans or doing certain things that is going to go up in flames around them. Remove yourself from negative situations where you intuitively feel like it's not going to work out, because the truth is you're going to wait and see and watch as it doesn't work out for them. Your intuition's protecting you right now, even though sometimes it feels like you're hitting a dead end because you're not getting what you want and you're watching everyone else get what they want. There's something about the way they're going about it where it's going to end up backfiring on them. You're highly intuitive. That's the main thing your higher self wants you to know is pay attention to your intuition. You're not someone where you have to develop your intuition in the sense of trying to build it up and listen to it. It's more so about you not doubting it. You know what to do, but sometimes you convince yourself that you're crazy, or you convince yourself that that's not possible, but it is. Don't waste time mourning people who aren't worth mourning. If someone has hurt you, if they've abandoned you, if they pushed you to become this Five of Pentacles and have to keep things hidden and have your guard up, they don't deserve this empathy from you. You can understand them, you can hear them out, but you need to protect yourself is really what I'm hearing with the Ace of Swords and the Dead End energy. It feels like you're in the beginning stages of your comeback story. It feels like other people have tried to put you down or keep you down. And your higher self is saying, let them believe that they have won. Let them believe that you have nothing without them, because you're beginning your comeback, and they don't need to know it. They don't need to be aware of it, because this person will continue to try and sabotage you. And so instead of letting them hurt what you're planning, plan in silence, plan in secrecy. With the magic here, keep things hidden. You don't have to share your plans with everyone else. And there's a difference between working in silence versus shutting yourself off from the world. You can be open with those you love and care about, but they don't need to know everything you're planning. They can know the important things. Keep your moves hidden. Don't let other people know what you're going to do next, because it feels like you have some enemies in your life. And the best way that you can protect yourself is to not let them know what to expect next. Because I almost feel like, because you are such an emotional person, this person thinks that they can hurt you by emotionally scarring you and by emotionally tearing you down. This person works by trying to play with your insecurities and magnify them. And part of your insecurities could be financial or status wise. And so something I feel like could be beneficial for you is to research online or with books or with other resources at your disposal how to no longer have these insecurities be your weakness. Build up your skills with them. It's gonna take time, but work on them. So then this person no longer has a weakness to play with. They think it's still a weakness for you, but it really won't be. What I'm hearing for you is use everything that's going on in your life, all these challenges, all these people that are hurting you, use it as fuel to yourself to become better, to grow, to just be better than they are, and beat them, not by going into battle with them, but by growing where people don't think it's possible for you to grow. They expect to fight, and if you don't give them that, they don't know what to do. Especially when you start working in silence, they won't know what you're doing. And you're going to see this person's true colors is going to start to reveal themselves more, because they're going to start to spiral because they don't know what to do. They're used to this cat and mouse game, but you've taken yourself out of that game. Really what your higher self is wanting you to know is to trust yourself and then be patient. Be patient as you develop these skills. Be patient as you wait for these manifestations to come in, and be patient as you watch this person reveal who they truly are. You have a very secretive but powerful energy here, and it almost to me feels like in a past life you've dealt with these same challenges, and so you're tapping into your past life skills. You're tapping into these resources that you currently are unaware of, you're untapped into, but by reconnecting with that past self version of yourself, you're able to re-invoke those skills and implement them in a modern way. Some of you, this is actually learning witchcraft and getting into magic and honing your spiritual abilities. But others of you, this is just like positive affirmations, shifting your mindset, focusing on meditation. Some of you, this could be praying. But it's almost like you're getting in tuned with your belief system, and you're gaining an inner strength and power within yourself from that, where you're not letting these other people around you make you feel a certain type of way about yourself. And you're finding this hidden strength and power within yourself that fuels you and keeps you aware of the signs and the mindfulness on how to move forward and how to improve. It feels like your higher self wants you to know, don't give up, but protect yourself. Be very mindful, be very cautious. Work towards what you want, and don't let other people defeat you, but just be very aware that you have some enemies who are pretending to be friends, and they're going to reveal themselves to you soon. And those who continue to hurt you when you're already down, they will get exactly what they deserve. Some of you, it feels like this has been going on for a while, and you're like, when are they going to get theirs? When are they going to get theirs? And your higher self is saying, wait and see. It's coming. And so I feel like this message was more so just confirmation for you when it comes to your intuition and what you're sensing, and that you're on the right path, and that you don't have to sway the outcome in any one way. People are going to get what they deserve, and things will improve for you. It's really just patient is a key word that keeps popping up for you. power and patience, actually, is what I'm hearing for you. Another Taylor Swift reference that I'm hearing for you is It's Been a Long Time Coming. And in a sense, that's about her reclaiming her albums, reclaiming her songs from someone who took it and stole it. And so kind of the same way that like she's going back and reclaiming her power, there's something here in the situation for you to take back what is yours and reclaim your power without you directly having to go to war with this person. You're just being stoic and strong and saying, this is the facts, this is reality, this is what I want, this is what I'm taking, this is what I'm getting, but not going and attacking them, not playing their game with them. Instead, putting your line in the sand and being like, this is the boundary. And you might have backed me up into this corner, but then as you stay in that corner, you're learning how you can take that power from them and make that corner that they backed you up into, the problems that you're facing, you can transform it into something of your own and do something with it that allows you to either build up these skills or allows you to make money off of it, profit off it in some way, where you're not dependent on this person anymore. If it's not a financial issue, there's some power that you can find in the situation that they put you in that takes away from them without you actually going and trying to be like this person's karma. Like, it's not up to you to decide what this person gets and like how the universe reflects their negativity back onto them, but you definitely deserve better things, and by getting better, it's going to hurt this person. That's part of why they want to push you into this corner and keep you down, because that's how they feel better about themselves. And so there's a lot that's going to come crashing down for this person, and I think you're aware of that. I think that you know that. And I feel like this is just Spirit's way to say, hey, don't doubt yourself. You're on the right track. What you're feeling is correct. Again, it's just mainly confirmation for you. But I feel like that's what you need at this time. And your higher self knows that. Your higher self's looking back at you saying, we're fine. In the end, everything's okay. You're where you need to be right now, because this is providing that path for you to reach your ultimate power. And so I'm sending you so much positive vibes as you're going through this right now, because it feels like you're in a negative place, and I'm sending you love as you get to where you want to be. I hope this resonates for you. I hope this was the confirmation that you've been looking for. If this resonated, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also, give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear this message as well. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you a part of this family. Also, if you want to purchase your own reading, I do sell them. You can check out my Etsy shop, or you can message me on my other social media platforms. Everything's going to be linked in the description box down below for you to contact me. I can't wait to see you all in my next video, and I hope you all have a good one until then. Bye.